Hi, I'm Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award-winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to this week's edition of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors. And as you know, every week we have on amazing guests. Today is no different. We have on the CEO of Gaingels, which is a gay angel group. And we are delighted to have her in from New York. Please welcome to the show, Jennifer Jeronimo. Hi, Jen. How are you?
Hi, Catherine. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. So happy to have you here. You were here for our wrap party for our film, Show Her the
Yes.
Money, which was so fabulous yesterday, wasn't it?
Oh, it absolutely was. As I was telling you earlier, I kept getting a little teary-eyed and misty-eyed. It's just the power in that room, the power in that space.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely tremendous. And seeing women who are so passionate about, about women getting a seat at the table is just amazing.
Right. Speaking of a seat at the table, I'm so happy Gaingels put in a female as their new CEO, you. And that for me is exciting. So kudos to them. And yesterday we had a whole event full of type A women, as I call it. And I'm saying, I'm not talking blood type, but, just really powerful, amazing, intentional women that are in the venture capital world or wanting to be. And I'm excited to talk about what Gaingels does because it's a little different than every other angel out group out there, because you guys started off as an all-gay angel group. That's the name Gaingels, but spelled Gain, as in gaining profits, right? Yep. But now it's also focused on not just investing in gay companies, but just underserved companies, right? Yep. BIPOC and women and...
Yeah, so in 2000, so it started as just an investment club in 2014, right? And it was, our members from the LGBTQIA plus community investing into LGBTQIA plus founders. And then in 2019, they realized, the partners realized there was a greater benefit and there was a greater impact that they could make. And it was not just preaching to the choir, because if you're investing in diverse founders, that is, they already get it. But now, so in 2019, they decided to switch it up and help the portfolio companies or the companies that we invest in with diversity, equity, and inclusion. And how we do that is we ask our portfolio companies to sign what we call the Gaingels letter. And the Gaingels letter talks to taking the parity pledge and always interviewing a diverse slate of candidates and ensuring you have a diverse board. And
I love what you're saying. And what you're saying is, in order for you all to invest in them, in these companies, these founders that need funding, founders from underserved communities, they need to meet those criteria and sign that letter. Yeah. And then you'll get, then you'll consider getting behind them.
We don't require them to sign the letter because sometimes they have their lawyers will have issues with it.
Right.
But they understand what we stand for.
I like that.
And so what we also do, so we ask them to sign that, and then we immediately, as soon as we write that check, we start asking them to help them find diverse board members. So I have staff full time that does that.
Wow.
That just works end to end, helps them write the the job spec, works with over 24, different organizations like Him for Her and the Latino Corporate Directors Association to source the candidates.
I love that. So what you're saying is once you invest in them, then you follow up with helping them to hire the right diverse people.
Yep.
That's awesome. Instead of just handing them the money and hoping they do it.
That's right.
That's really a great service. And so what I like is, I've been to some of your events and they're always great. And what makes them great is, as a gay person, it's nice to go to a gay angels group and get to mix with other cool, gay people that want to be investing in underserved communities. And so I always meet like the really most interesting people at your events. And I know that it's not just for gay people, that a lot of gay allies attend these events. Yep. And I've met some really great gay allies at your event. So, I just think it's nice when people are wanting to get into this angel realm, that if they happen to be in the LGBTQI community, that they have an angel group to go to where they can feel welcome and that they can learn the ropes. And speaking of learning the ropes, I definitely want to talk about your new program for women that you are implementing. I'm so excited to go hear about that this week. Tell me a little bit about it. I want to give some people insight that are listening about, how they could take your program to learn how to be an investor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not just about serving our portfolio companies, but it's also about helping our members get in the game. A lot of our members won't get access to some of the deals that we have. We co-invest alongside top quartile VCs. And so it gives them the opportunity to invest alongside. But what we're doing now is we're having a 6-month pilot program. Hopefully, if it goes well, we'll launch it more broadly, where we will have education. So there'll be investing 101, 102, how to build your brand in VC, understanding cap tables, understanding how to do due diligence on a portfolio company, because it can be very sort of daunting when you get all this information about a company.
And when you say build your brand in VC, you mean, so this is to help the new fund managers?
Well, it's to help women build that brand in venture capital, become an investor.
To become an investor.
Make their name in VC.
Oh, gotcha.
And how they can do that, how they network, and because VC is not always the easiest to get into. So some tips and tricks.
And this is what our film is about. Show Her the Money. That's coming out this year that we were just talking about. It's about letting the average person listening to understand how to get into the venture capital world, how to get into the angel investing world that they're probably missing out on because they're afraid of not really knowing how to get into it. And so I love that there's angel groups out there like yours where people can come and learn about it. And now a program like the one you're rolling out where they, as a woman that wants to get into the venture capital world or become an angel investor, can come into your program and learn about it.
Yeah. And it's not just angel investing. We'll do early, the early stage like angel or later stage, there's different, and not to get into all the vernacular, but the different stages of it. And then also I am bringing in the partners once a month to talk to the women about the deals that we have out there. So they actually get to ask questions to the partners, get their opinions, and then I'll ask the partners to drop off so that the women can talk amongst themselves. I may even drop off if I feel like it stifles women from asking questions to one another.
I don't think you could be off-putting to anybody. You're such a authentic, down-to-earth, approachable person, which makes you a great CEO. I love that you're implementing this program because I do think that's what holds people back is not knowing how to get the education. And then like you were just saying, afraid of asking, what they would call, maybe dumb questions. But there are no dumb questions.
There are none.
If somebody told me the only dumb question is the one you don't ask.
That's right.
So I love that they could hop on a call or come to an event and learn about it. And feel perfectly fine about not knowing.
Right.
Like everybody, we kind of expect everybody not to know what venture capital is. Women have been shut out of this for years.
That's right.
Venture capital, you and I both know, has been around for about 5 decades, and it's only in the 2000s that women even started to dip their toe in.
That's right.
I think it was the first angel group for women was like 2005. The first venture capital fund for women specifically was in like 2015. This is not that long ago, right? So since we're talking about Gaingels today, women that are gay women or LGBTQ community or allies, should try out, the Gaingels events and come check out this program. Is there a cost for the program?
Nope, there's no cost.
Wow.
But I do have 2 asks, and I'm hoping that women will understand the why behind it. One is halfway through the program, if they find that it's valuable and it's added to their knowledge and their expertise, then I will ask them to invite or refer another investing woman into the Gaingels community. And also to set an intention, not legally bound. We won't require it, obviously, but to set an intention to invest. And particularly, it'd be great if they would want to set an intention to invest in female founders. But I just want women to get a seat at the table. I want them to start calling themselves investors.
Yes,
because when you call yourself an investor, right, that gives you more power.
And people might wonder, women might wonder, well, what is the entree into that investment world? Like, what level could they dip their toe in and try this out?
Yeah, well, Gaingels, we are, we're very inclusive. Yeah. And so they could write a $5,000 check, a $50,000 check, $100,000. It's what they're comfortable with. And we have different products. We syndicate individual deals. We have fund deals, like different funds.
Fund with a D.
Yes, fund.
Although they're fun also.
Yes, they're definitely fun. Funds in different verticals. So there's different products that we have that women could dip their toe in and get in the game. I know that when I first talk to a woman and she wants to make an investment, but she needs background, it's once they make that first investment and they realize it's not that scary and they
get empowered.
They're empowered and they do it again.
And that one thing I like about your program is they could invest in a particular company, and by the way, like you said, just on their own they wouldn't even have access to that company, but they get to learn all about innovative new companies that they can actually invest in that direct company.
Yep.
Or they can pick one of your funds that speaks to them. Maybe it's a tech fund or some other type of niche, and pool their money with other people in what's almost like a mutual fund and put the money together with other people to then fund several companies.
That's right.
Which then hedges their bet a little bit.
Yep.
So the individual investments could be more lucrative, but if they are kind of risk adverse, they might want to go for the fund. The beauty of aligning themselves with something like Gaingels is that you all do all the work. You vet these companies and you bring to the table the ones that met those requirements, so they don't have to have that knowledge.
Yeah. Now we invest alongside leads, so we don't do the same deep due diligence that a big venture fund would do, but we take all the information that we get from the portfolio companies and from the leads, and we provide that to our members so that they can review and make their decisions.
And what you mean is like the larger ones do all that due diligence, but then you all piggyback on that, and then you become part of that bigger venture fund with the Gaingels coming in as a group itself.
That's right.
And so once again, an opportunity to get in on a bigger venture capital fund that might otherwise require maybe $100,000 or $200,000 investment.
Right.
And you're coming into Gaingels with $5,000, getting to play with the big boys, so to speak, or
That's
big
right.
girls.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And it's exciting and it's fun. The individual companies, I think, can be a little bit daunting at first because there's so much information that you're reading about. But once you get comfortable, which is why we're doing this program, and you sort of understand all the terms and what it's all about, then you can sort of make that more educated decision.
I love that.
Very excited about
Yeah.
what we've got this year.
Are you allowed to talk about like a couple of companies that you all have invested in that have done really well that you...
You know, I'm always cautious about talking about specific deals, but you know some of the deals that we've closed on.
Yes, I love that most of the gay companies that I encounter, that maybe I'm helping them raise money or whatever, that they have gotten funding from Gaingels, almost all of them, and I love that. Yeah.
I mean, we've deployed over $700 million of our network's money into over 1,500 plus companies.
That's amazing.
So far. So, and very cool companies. And it's one of my favorite parts of my job is just to see the innovation that's out there right now.
Oh, that's what I love about being in the venture capital and angel group. You know, the whole arena of learning firsthand, like what's really coming down the pike. And I think the average citizen really doesn't know how many amazing innovations are out there.
It's, you know, that's a great, it's a great way to say it because I now know what's sort of coming up as opposed to, so prior to being at Gaingels, I was at JP Morgan. I was always on the public side.
Right.
So they're sort of, they get it after, you know, the company is, you know, grown to a certain level. But it's great to be on like the ground floor and seeing what these companies are able to do and how they're innovating and how they're changing the landscape.
Right. And I did want to mention that, like you have this like huge background in this arena of investing. You were executive director, right? At JP Morgan. And what made you decide to take that leap from that type of investing over to this type of investing?
It was really the mission of Gaingels. I will tell you that I bled blue. At JP Morgan. I was never going to leave JP Morgan. I didn't have my sights on it. It actually was 19 years since I had gone on an external interview. It was hearing about the mission of Gaingels, you know, impacting social change through investment or through profitable investment, and then understanding what Gaingels did, and I felt like that was so important because it's the venture economy of today that will be the corporate America in 5 to 10 years.
Yes.
And so if you can help these companies now, when they grow, they won't have some of those problems that big corporations have with diversity, equity, and inclusion as they get bigger.
Right.
So, and it's exciting to be on the ground floor of that.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people don't know or do know that underrepresented communities and women get less than 2% of all venture capital. If we don't change that, like you said, then companies are not going to look diverse.
Right.
And not be, it's better for the economy. It's better for the world. You know, all these people have ideas and innovations that need to be funded. And you, the listeners, could be the people that fund them. And that's what's going to change it. That's what's going to move the needle. And that's what's exciting. We can all play a part in moving that needle and making the world a better place by funding these innovations, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
So how can people find Gaingels and get involved?
Well, you could go to our website, gaingels.com. They can, you know, take a look at everything that we have to offer. We have regular membership for accredited investors. We also have social members for people who are not accredited investors but want to learn about the asset class.
Right.
So they can come to our events. They can meet CEOs of some of our portfolio companies and other investors and learn more about it.
And so founders can come too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Our community is absolutely, it's amazing. And it's great when I can see like a young younger person come in who may not be an accredited investor, may not be ready to invest yet, but they can come to one of my events, meet a founder of a company, meet a major LP, or we have some of our VC partners come from some of the big top quartile VCs, so they get access and exposure to that. And that's what excites us all, right? It's just building, helping to build that generational wealth for underrepresented communities.
Right, and then these people are going to be successful business owners one day, and then they become the angel investors.
That's right.
And it's such a unique and awesome ecosystem of these events where it's founders, investors, people wanting to be investors, and all coming together and making magic.
Yep.
Love it. Can they find you on LinkedIn?
Yes.
Okay.
I am Jennifer Jeronimo with a J.
Jeronimo.
Yes. And I'm happy to talk to anybody who's got questions around whether it's Gaingels and what we offer as far as deals, products, or even just our events and what's coming up, in the future there as well.
Yes. Well, I hope to see you all at some of those events. And as we're wrapping up, I'm going to say that we hope that you will visit Gaingels.com, right? Gaingels.com. That's spelled Gaingels again. And of course, you can find me, Catherine Gray, on LinkedIn, as well as Jennifer Jeronimo. And of course, also Invest in Her, Catherine Gray, Invest in Her on Instagram. And then we are SheAngelInvestors.com. And you can find us all over social media as well. And be sure to also look on Instagram for our new movie site, which is showherthemoneymovie.com and at showherthemoneymovie. We just are thrilled to have you tune in this week. We hope you will check out Gaingels and start thinking about investing in other women. That's right, invest in her. Thanks for tuning in. Make it a great week. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.